Hey everybody, it's me, Chefalina, coming to y'all today with my Being Mary Jane review. It's been a long, tiresome week. I've been running around. My son is having his first dance slash event, high school wise, and it's kind of hectic because he did everything last minute, and some things that he didn't get done that he should have done. And then it was left for me, the mom, to save the day. So I'm running around to all types of people, all types of places, trying to put, something nice together for him because it's not a formal event. It's just it's like a spring fling, but he wants to do something more than just everyday wear to school and not just look like he's going to church. So I'm like, what am I going to do? So I look online. Of course, it ain't going to be back in time because it's tomorrow. Today is the 16th. Is today the 16th? Yeah, today is April the 16th, and tomorrow is the event. So I've been running around, and I don't know why I didn't think of Marshalls first. Let me tell you something about Marshalls. Marshalls is that ish, okay? Because I went in there and I found socks, the pants, the shirt, and the tie all in one kaboom. And I had went to H&M, and I had did this and did that, and I was just like, you know what? I don't know why I didn't think of this first. But anyway, getting off the subject, I'm sorry. This is the season finale of Being Mary Jane, and it's over. And some of you are still with me, and I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Peace out to y'all. And some of y'all just, the comments kind of fell off. But my views actually have picked up. It was kind of crazy. My last video, I had way like double the views that I normally get. But like I said, one or two, I'm good. Somebody's watching. So anyway, and like I said before in another video, look for more from me on the cooking tip. That's going to be probably what's going to start up after I'm done with doing Being Mary Jane. I'm going to start doing that. And I'm probably going to post something once a week. I don't know if I'm going to just have like fast foods. Not all fast food is fast food. And when I say fast food, I mean something quick and easy that you can make and fix for you and your family or whatever. And I'm going to do that once a week. And my actual I'm going to post, I did an actual video, like an intro video, just talking about my life and my not life but my food life. So y'all look out for that. But anyway, we start with the show starts off with Cult of Personality by Living Color, not In Living Color, Living Color. The Black Boys back in the what was that, the 90s, I remember them being on Arsenio, the lead singer. He was a real rock. They was a real rock band. You didn't see that a lot with African Americans, like a real true hardcore, like that wrestling music when the wrestling played. The wrestlers play when they're about to get in the ring and lock it up or whatever. And I was like, wow, this takes me back to like I said in the 90s when Arsenio Hall was on, and they were on there and they had a song called Glamour Boy. And they was like, oh, Arsenio, you a glamour boy because you always suited up and, suited and booted trying to catch the chicks or whatever. We hardcore. We go hard with ours or whatever. I just thought that was a very good choice to come on to. I was rocking out. And so come to find out, there was no backlash. The ugly black woman thing took off virally, and Mary Jane was met with a lot of just being popular and a lot of positive feedback. And she did an interview with Don Lemon, which by Don Lemon, like I tried to like him in the beginning when he first started out, but like some things that he said just really rubbed me the wrong way, and I'm like, I'm not here for bull. So he tried to tell her, he was like, it's funny, like when we do the news, we commentate the news. We're never the news. We're just delivering the news. We don't become the news. And she said, listen, there's a lot of people out there that have something to say. And I felt like that was the time to say it. And I'm just sorry if she took it that way or whatever. But he said, well, it's taken off or whatever. She said, well, that wasn't my intent. I'm trying to say, like, a lot of people, that just goes to show, a lot of people feel the way I feel. And you don't necessarily have to be a black woman to feel like you're not heard. Again, she is right. So, she's talking on her, as she leaves there, she's talking on the phone to PJ. PJ like, oh, you that girl, you all on YouTube, you got over this many hits, whatever. And they done made an auto-tune out of you. She's like, what kind of song? So he plays the song for her, and it's like auto-tune or whatever. I feel like an ugly black woman, something, however it went. And she was like, what? And she was trying to act like she wasn't phased by it, but she was when he was talking to her because he couldn't see that she was like smiling or whatever. So he was like, go ahead and have a good day. I love you, whatever, whatever. And be careful what you say because everybody's watching. So she's like, oh, shut up. No, it ain't. Whatever, whatever. I'll talk to you later. So she's driving up to the studio. And lo and behold, she got a whole bunch of fans out there. Oh, I'm a good black woman. Oh, Mary Jane, you're my hero. You're my shero. They're screaming and hollering when they see her coming. She's signing autographs. She's like, oh my gosh. The cops got a kind of the police for the security for the station kind of got a. Oh, I didn't even mention that I got my natural out. I was going to push my hair and pull it up before I got in the video, but I want to take a nap. I had a hard day. Not hard day, but just running around trying to get stuff done. I want to lay down, and I can't do that with the gel in my hair. So this will be done probably in the morning. But yeah, so she gets to the what was I going to say? Oh yeah, she did sign the autographs or whatever. The security gets everybody out of her way so she can go on through. Then she gets there and she's in her office, and the anchor who they said last week was wasn't out sick. And just like Kara said, if they ain't under the knife, they didn't talk about the fired part, but she's on her way out. She knows she's about to get fired. So lo and behold, she's talking to Mary Jane. She comes in the office and she's like, listen, they want me out and they're going to use you to do it. And Mary Jane is like, what do you mean? She know her and Kara had already talked about it or whatever, but she had to play it off. And she was like, just know that, they'll do that to you, whatever. And she tried to give it that spiel of, oh no, you still got so many good years. I mean, you're young 40s, whatever. She's just going on with the rhetoric. Cynthia's just looking at her. And might I add, I like this. I don't usually like print stuff. It has to be done really tastefully. But that snakeskin dress with the little thin belt, I wish I could wear some. My stomach is so big. But you had that hole in. I don't care. I have done the hole in sometimes because I just feel like my stomach is controllable. I think I should do better with it, but whatever. Anyway, so I like that dress that Sin had on. She was like, now I see why they like you so much. I don't even know when you're lying or whatever. So Mary Jane just had that dumb look on her face like she ate a bird or something. And she walked out. So Kara is talking to... Kara comes in and was talking to Mary Jane. And she was just telling her... She was like, so what does your highness had to say? So she was telling her, yeah, she's getting forced out or whatever. And they're using us or whatever. And while they're talking, Kara tells her, I got to run home overnight and go handle something in New York with my parents or whatever. And she was like, well, no, just go. I got your back. And she talks to her and she was like, listen, are we going to take this? I mean, you don't seem so enthused like you did before. And she was like, I know, but I feel like I'm stepping on people's toes. She's like, listen, you can't feel like that. This is our time, mama, and we're in this together. You understand me? I don't want to come back here from visiting my parents and you be on some, oh, I shut it down, because we are in this together. Don't leave me hanging. Like she's felt like Mary Jane had in the past. Because remember, she said that. I feel like you've edged me out some kind of way. We were a team and then it became you. So she was like, yeah. Oh, and one thing that I noticed, I don't know if that was symbolism or whatever, because I pay attention to a lot of detail, maybe sometimes too much. But when Mary Jane had just got to the office after she signed the autographs with the people that she met outside, it was like she was walking down that hallway and all of the anchors was on the wall. But did you notice that, like, it was all the anchors and then Mary Jane was on a wall by herself and then it was the rest of the anchors? I just thought that symbolized something. I don't know, because she stands alone. There's nobody like her. You know what I mean? I do think that she brings so much to that station, just like Sin was bringing so much to that station. Now they're edging her out. Now they're moving Mary Jane in. And it's definitely going to happen to her the way that they happen, because we further see the two bosses, the big boss, whose name was Shayla, or, wait a minute, I wrote it down. Sheree. I think it was Sheree or something like that. I thought Sheree was a black woman. How many people thought that Sheree was a black woman? Then we get there and she has this accent and she's like, and the other boss, who I don't like, he's just a hater. I don't like him. She's talking or whatever. It's something about her accent just made me not like her. And I know that that's not prejudice or whatever. It was just something like I could just tell that she was going to say some mean or nasty words out of her mouth, even though she was smiling and she said it, and then she turned right around. They offered Mary Jane the job. Kara's all excited. She's about to do the What's this? The nay nay or the smurder? Done got the job, yo. I told you, yo. They offered us the job, yo. But anyway, so they say, okay, Kara, you can go ahead and skip to my little one down to your office, and we want to talk to Mary Jane by herself. So the other boss leaves out too. So basically, Sheree is telling her, oh, I didn't know anything about these vital. Oh, your shoes, that's so beautiful. Them shoes was banging, no. Mary Jane's was, not the other ladies. They look like Pay Less Die prom special, the satin shoes that you get when, yeah, that's what they look like. They cost $9.99. But anyway, so she's like, oh yeah, but I know that you're doing this black talk. I think you just need to pull it back just a scotch. I mean, we want to give you the opportunity to talk or whatever, whatever. So she's like, okay, and I just want you to, because he doesn't understand us, whatever. So Mary Jane's like, okay, this is the okie doke. You offering me the job, but you want me to pull back on what the reason why I'm actually sitting in this seat is because of what I said to the lady in the interview, but you don't want me to do any of that. She's thinking in her head. So she's like, okay, yeah. They smooth and they leave out. So he comes back in, the other boss who I can't stand. What is his name? I can't think of his name. Well, you know who I mean. The boss, the other boss, who doesn't really like Mary Jane. And he says to her, you think this is a good idea? She said, no, but we're going to ride the wave right now because she's really popular. And what is this viral? She's viral and whatever. So we'll just see how it goes. And if it does, the diversity of a Latino and a African American, the higher ups will love that. And she's real popular right now, so it'll benefit us too. But if it doesn't, then we'll get rid of her ass, basically. Cancel that bitch, I'll buy another one. Remember that from New Jack City when Nino had said that about, I can't never see if I'm looking at y'all or looking at, I can't see where my eyes are going, so I'm sorry if I'm not making direct eye contact. Anyway, but, yeah, so she was like, cancel that biatch, we'll have another one. He was like, oh, yeah, So, Kara says, well, what did she say? And she tells exactly what she said. And she was like, like I said, this is our thing. You don't seem as hype. I'm hype, whatever. You don't know what you want to do. I don't know. Maybe she said this afterwards. But anyway, she says she has to go to New York and she lets her go. And she's like, don't worry about it. I got it or whatever. If anything happens, you let me know, though, mama. You call me. And she says to Kara, I feel like I need to really make a decision of whether I really want this or not. Because for the one time, black kids are looking for something. We need to give them something. We don't just need to give them empty promises. For the first time ever, you can tell your black kids, we can tell our kids, you could be anything you want. We have an African American president, and they can be anything they want now. Because before, Chris Rock even said this, used to say that back in the day, you could be anything you want to be. But we knew there was limitations, because we never saw it happen. But now we're living in a time where we had an African-American president who went 2 terms, and he's too smooth to lose. That's why they can't stand him, because he don't really have nothing for them to talk about, so they make up stuff. So, and she said, and I want to handle this right. So she understands that, so Kara goes on to New Jersey. I'm sorry, New York. Sheldon at some point had told her, I guess, to come over for dinner. He's setting up this Moroccan thing, and it's looking good. She's saying it's smelling good, and just the way the TV was looking, everything was just looking. I love black people on TV. I just love black love on TV. Black people that stay together and want to be together and even struggle through their relationships. I love that they show that, because I don't feel like, I don't care if anybody is offended, but I love black love, because we love the best. When I say that, and I can only talk about my standpoint. I can only talk about my point of view and how, watch my mother love her male friends. Not male friends like she had a lot of them, but like just in being in a relationship. I just love the way my mom was, and that kind of made me how I am. But you cross me, that's it. That's your ass. But anyway, so so she's over there for the dinner or whatever, and he's like showing her, I'm doing the Moroccan thing. He's trying to get the radio set up, because he said he had just got a new system, whatever. They tried to show him or whatever, and he couldn't get it done. So she's like sitting there smirking, oh, you want me to help you? You want me to help you? And this way she kind of got on my nerves. So He's like, no, I got it. So he grabs his glasses. Like, that isn't a sign of old because you grabbed your glasses. Let me tell you something. When I turned 40, I could see. By the time I was 40 and a half, I needed reading glasses. But that was the wear and tear on my eyes from my job at the government. Looking up and down at that computer, just like you get the carpal tunnel syndrome, it weakens your eyes. And I need these to, like, look down here because I got my little notes down here. Y'all can't see them. And then, just to see clearly, I could look up. But I have a bifocal. Y'all don't even see that. But anyway, she just was like, whatever. So he goes on to say, I got the food, everything set up outside, which was beautiful. Like, I would have been so glad to just come home and kick my shoes off and somebody else has cooked for me. That is like one of my things. You know what I'm saying? Like, they say simple things mean a lot. Little things mean a lot. It's just so simplistic, and he had the food, and he thought about it. Then he pulled out the films and whatever. Her mind, she kind of giggles to herself. And he's like, what? Oh, nothing. He said it didn't seem like nothing. She's laughing back at how her and Cuddy Buddy play their game of cat and mouse with the movies. Well, you shouldn't even be doing that. You talk about him. You 39 on this show. You 39 on this show, but you playing the game of come on over and watch some movie. Two grown people ain't got to come over and watch no more. Now, don't get me wrong. It can be a situation where you just straight up be like, oh, let's watch this or whatever. But Cuddy Buddy is just for that. Boom, 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 boom. You ain't got to do it. Go right to it like the comedians say the black pornos are. The white pornos, they come in, they have a storyline. They sit down, they have a couple of drinks, whatever. When you have a black porno, he knock on the door. Next thing you know, by the time you get to the stairwell, boom, 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 boom. So, like, if that's what he's for, that's what he's for. Like, don't try to make every relationship the same because he's not your Cuddy Buddy. So, anyway, when they get outside, he's just talking or whatever, and she called him corny. Like, she was like, yeah, it seemed like he was trying to get a little bit. He said, I was trying to get something. I forgot the words that he used. She said, yeah, it seemed like you were trying to get a little bit of everything, meaning like he was trying to sleep with her. He was like, no, it was really just dinner and a movie. Like, what are you talking about? He was like, oh, come on, really? I've done this before, and it comes off a little corny or whatever. And I'm like, is this serious? Like, for one time, you got a man who looks, we know he's not, but he seems almost perfect. You know what I'm saying? He's about something. He knows that he doesn't have to get up and go to work, and you know what I'm saying? He reads a lot. He's into stuff because when we find out later on, he acquired some slave love letters. Like, I thought that was dope. Like, I would want to see that. I would want to see what they were writing about. And it's probably the same things that we going through today as far as love. Again, you know what I'm saying? Because we wrote that shit, black folks. But it's just like she just wasn't getting it, and that really, really pissed me off with her. And it pissed him off too. So that's when it switched to her home making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich instead of finishing up the Moroccan food because it was real uncomfortable. She tells Mark, her next door neighbor, to come over. Mark's telling her, you don't see where you were wrong at any point in this. And she really didn't get it. You know how she gets that dumb, quirky, I'm going to make fun of it because I don't want to deal with it kind of, and I'm really not seeing your point. I really do think that I'm right kind of face. So then she's making light of everything. He told her a story about how when he was in college and he was making out with a guy, and he said, I took my clothes off, and the guy just bust out laughing. And he said that, he put his clothes on and he left, and that's when he realized he was not gay or whatever. And he said, that's just probably the same way that he felt. I keep wanting to call him David. Sheldon felt when you called him corny after he had went through specifically getting the Moroccan, setting up, and outside looked beautiful. Was it just me or was it beautiful? I was like, oh, hey, Sheldon, what you doing later? I like them little candles and stuff you got, and your pheromones all up in here. I don't care if you ain't can't turn on the music. Take your time. Take your time. Take your time. You know what I'm saying? She just was looking at him like, oh, like this old. And she even made a comment like, oh, is that why you date the 20-year-old so they can read the instructions? What kind of that is that? Why would you say that? He was just looking at her like, and he's not confrontational, but he's stern, and he gives her that look, and he gets her together. And it was just like, Mark just said, you just don't see it. And she was like, no, I really don't. And he was like, the point is, that's how he probably felt, and you probably need to say something. And she was like, well, what am I going to say? He was like, listen, all you need to do is send a text or whatever. And she hadn't sent it yet, but anyway, we're going to get to that. So, let me see. Oh yeah, he said Mark said he's never going to forget that you laughed and called him corny. Um, so we switch to Kara. Kara goes home to New York. She's spending the night because her mom texts her a whole bunch of times. Mommy, what's the problem? She go in, kiss, kiss. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Father is sitting in the living room watching sports on TV. Never really kind of looks up from what he's doing. He didn't even get up. So Kara goes over, kisses him. Long story short, the father has a gambling problem, and he has had to give up the deed to, what do you say, Charlie B, Johnny D, whatever his name. It's always a name and a initial to loan sharks on TV. So she was like, well, mom, because the father said we want to sell the house and get a condo, which is a load of bull. That was just a pipe dream. He was selling her just to hold her off from not telling her the truth. And the truth was that he is so deep in debt he couldn't pay the interest, let alone the principal that he owed, and so he had to sign the deed over. And he's been paying the mortgage with their savings that's almost tapped out, and he cannot bring himself to tell her mother. She sit there and literally cries like a baby. Oh, and her little sister is Taina. Do anybody remember that show, Taina? I used to watch that. Lisa was the mom, and she played the little it was a Latino show, based on it was a Latino show, like a Brandy or something like that. It was a mom and a dad and the little girl, the young girl. She was going through high school or whatever. But yeah, I've been seeing her forever, and she's a grown woman now. So it's funny to see her. And she was going along with the father or whatever because they kind of gang up on the mom or whatever. But long story short, Kara gave him the money, and it was like everything. You know what I'm saying? That she had. She didn't have it, but she did give it to him, and he felt bad because he was like, I didn't ask you because I have pride, and I didn't want to ask my child for money or whatever. But she was like, listen, I would do anything for my mother. When she gets back from that trip, she gets back and she tells Mary Jane, like, to me, in a sense, it was like, look ahead, heifer. I done had to do this for my family. This is real deal Holyfield. See, you don't have that problem because your people kind of got money. You have money. You don't have kids. You know what I'm saying? You got more going on than me. So I'm going to need you to go ahead on and be on with this job for as long as we can so I can get some of my money back. And she said that to her. Don't you think, some of this primetime money will do you good? She said, hell yeah. And remember that when you go to making your choices. But anyway, so, okay. So the next thing I think is when Mark and Mary Jane are in the office, and she was trying to figure out a way to write. She kept writing too much and erasing it. So when he came in, he was just like, I just want to apologize for how I acted, and I hope you can. It's something simple. And she was like, oh, this is so simple. I almost want to smack you or something. Because it was just simple. And he waited like a whole 24 hours before he texted her back, which was good. But she took her ass over to his house, which was bad. Like, Mary Jane will do offensive stuff, and then a lot of men do this too. My son does this. When he does something that really gets on my nerves, I just need to be quiet, and I need you not to say nothing and stay away from me. But instead of doing that, he'll keep it. Well, can I do something? Can I help you? Get away from me. Get away from me. What you can help me with is getting the hell away from me. I don't want to talk. I don't want to say anything. I'm done. Let me cool off. You don't force me into listening to your reasoning for whatever was trying to apologize. When I said don't want to be bothered, that's what I mean. So anyway, and yeah, she goes over to his house and she kind of was like, "Oh, I want to apologize or whatever." He was like, "Okay, I'll call you tomorrow." I said, "You better get her together without getting her together. You better use as few words as possible and still say a lot." I love that. I love when you say as few words as possible, but get your point across like this. Bam, right in the face. She's like, she's, okay. I love Gabrielle Union, though. She's really playing this part really well. All right. So part 2, second episode, well, the second of the 2 episodes of the finale. MJ is in the bed. And the alarm goes off. It kind of scared me. I'm like, I thought somebody really was in the house, but it comes to find out it was something going on where her alarm was like, what's the word? Something wasn't right with the alarm, and it just the alarm tricked itself because the cops told her that. But she called Sheldon and she was like, listen, I'm a little scared, the alarm went off, whatever. And it seemed like he was kind of resistant at first when she was like, well, never mind, I can go to my parents. He was like, no, 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 come over. So she went over there. They talked. This is when she found out he had the slave letters or whatever, and he was reading those. And she was like, oh, you should get that into the Smithsonian, whatever. And he was like, I'm in talks with somebody about getting them or whatever. So it was bedtime because she was tired. She was asleep when that happened. So she gets in the bed. She gets in on the wrong side. He was like, do you mind moving over to the other side? I'm like, you're not even getting in the bed with her. I didn't know he wasn't. But after he didn't get in the bed, he went on to finish reading the letters. Why does she have to move over? But he's quirky and like a little extra super sensitive. I'm quirky about certain stuff too, but so I know it could be kind of funny. And like me being a single lady now, just with me and my son, it probably would be kind of hard for me to have. So not hard, but like we would have to get adjusted to our little things, And I know I could be extra sensitive with that kind of stuff. So as it goes on, she goes to sleep. She sleeps by herself. She never actually wakes up. When she does wake up, he never actually gets in the bed. When she does wake up, he's not there or whatever. So she's like, oh, I need a toothbrush. Oh, he comes in. I guess he had went for a run because he was sweating and he had on his athletic clothes or whatever. And she was like, did you ever sleep? He was like, I nap. I was like, oh, okay. So when she asked him for, like, before he came in though, she did kind of try to toot her butt up in the air. He ain't paid her like not a bit of mine. Like she had her old ass cheek out. He ain't paid her no mind. And she's like, what's wrong with this dude or whatever? So she's like, oh, do you have a toothbrush? Oh, he had actually when she got to the bathroom after she walked through the house a little bit and saw that he wasn't back yet. She saw the toothbrush and she was like brushing her teeth. Oh, like, oh, I have a toothbrush. He can have a toothbrush. So anyway, they sit down. He starts making the food or whatever, the omelet, and it looked good too. He can cook. And she had like a little attitude because he didn't make no moves on her. So he was like, did you call about your security? Oh, I'll get to it, just looking at the paper like it was so much more interesting than he was. So he was like, I think you should get on. She was like, I'm not going to do it right now. This, that, and the third, like getting so smart. Like he was like, well, I was just saying because that could be a issue. You need to get on that or whatever. So they go back and forth. So he was talking to her in a way like he said, I'm just worried about you. I'm okay. She was like, are we in a relationship? And he was like, I would say we were. And she was like, oh, well, when were you going to tell me? He said, I didn't think I needed to tell you. Like, bitch, we grown. Anyway, you supposed to say, you go with me, I go with you. Check this box. Oh, okay, we go together. He 50 something and she's almost hitting 40. We got to say that or whatever, but that just goes to show her immaturity still with dealing with that level of dude because she called him corny and was saying that he was trying to sleep with her when he was like, it's just a mere dinner in a movie. So anyway, that went on. Oh, and then they kind of flirted or whatever, and he made advances like he wanted to sleep with her. He was like, the omelet is best served warm. She was like, oh, is it now? And he was like, or it could be served afterwards or whatever. And she was like, no, you said I had to go to work and you're right or whatever. So she left out or whatever. So she goes to work. I don't remember really what happened too much then. Then she gets back home with him and we're already at the bedtime. Then this when she sees that he threw away the toothbrush that she had and she had to go get another one. So she went and got another one out of the big glass canister because it's like, like that's like the when those rappers and the like when Malik on the game, they had to sign that release form that they're not going to say anything about sleeping with him or tell anybody anything. And they give them a basket and send them on their way. Her toothbrush was like recyclable. She didn't know that. So she was like, oh, okay. So she goes around. Her phone rings while they're talking, and Sally Richardson, the psychiatrist, told her that David's dog died. And the dog was really important to David, and it was really important to Mary Jane because he had the dog when they were together or whatever, and he loved the dog. So she's hurting because he's hurting or whatever. So Sheldon's like, call him. You obviously feel something for the dog and for him or whatever. Call him. No. Who encouraged somebody to call their ex? He said, I didn't say go over there and sleep with him. I'm saying call him because I don't know why society And no, he didn't say that yet, but he said in the gist that I don't know why we live in a world where people encourage people never to talk again because they're not in a relationship anymore. That doesn't make sense. You don't just turn your feelings off, even if they've done something to hurt you or you just amicably split or whatever. Don't talk no more. Like, that doesn't make any sense. So anyway, they go to bed. I'm fine. Next thing you know, they wake up, they change in the bed, she done peed in the bed. And it always brings me to the song Ride or Die Chick. I need a ride or die chick. Dun, 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 with it's the Locks Eve, I guess the Rough Riders or whatever. And he said she got a man, but he's with the feds, and she miss him so much that she pee in the bed. Like that always gave me the skeeves. But I guess you can have a stress level or a mental level so much that, I guess because little kids pee in the bed or whatever, it can transfer on to adults. I don't know any adults that would pee in the bed, but who would just announce I pee in the bed when I'm upset about stuff? So of course she was super embarrassed, and they go back and forth. He said, listen, you need to call dude because I can't keep, doing this. You not addressing the issues with him is making me have an issue with you peeing in my bed. And he was like, I'm gonna throw this mattress. She was like, I can get it out. He's like, are you serious? This mattress is going in the whole trash. He already got the 50 toothbrushes, and can you sleep on that side and don't do this? So anyway, she was like, are you going to tell anybody? He was like, no, but I'm going to need you to address boy because I don't want to have to address this piss no more. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So, PJ graduated college. The mom shook. Ooh, my baby. He didn't think he could do it, but I knew he could do it. Oh, yeah. Mama say, mama sigh, mama kusa. Everybody going around, they giving them his kudos or whatever. She's on the phone because earlier Sin had came in and said they trying to push me out without even having no a farewell to my fans. They just want me to just not be there, like be here today and not be here tomorrow. Like that's happened to me at a job. Like and people were like, well, what happened to Shonda? It was just like Shonda gone. Unless they tried to reach out to me, the people never said anything about my departure. And people usually do that when they're guilty. Just saying. Anyway. So Mary Jane's on the phone talking to whoever she needs to talk to try to help Cynthia get her farewell, whatever, because she went to Mary Jane and asked her to kind of help. And they're going around the table, and then Patrick's other daughter, who I completely forgot about, I forgot her name, Niecy's sister, said that she's getting married and they're moving to North Carolina, her and her two girls. So Patrick actually has Niecy, that girl, and that young woman, and the little girl with the white lady, with the white woman. I shouldn't even say lady because she ain't no lady, with a crackhead, probably still in jail. So Niecy's face kind of cracked and fell on the floor. So Suge, I keep saying Suge, but Mary Jane's mom, Suge kind of noticed it, and she was like, Niecy, you haven't said anything. This is what the sister said to the other sister. She was like, I'm happy for you. I can't believe it or whatever. And Patrick, wait, Paul Jr. is the one who graduated. I'm sorry. Patrick is the one who's the oldest brother. So Patrick was like looking when they was like giving him all of these pats on the back about his good thing. And one thing he did say that I was like, high five, Paul Jr., PJ, is he said, and I don't have no loans. I said, do that coochie salute. He said, I'm in no debt. That just made my back tingle. Like, I mean, just the idea that, because there's so much going on now with so many people being in debt from just trying to go to school, and President Obama is trying to help people and they don't want you to. It's like they want to have their foot on your forehead until you die. You owe us. I can't. But anyway. So Patrick went on in the room because now he done found out one of his babies is leaving and going to North Carolina, which ain't that far from Atlanta. But still, she's not going to be in that state, and she's going to be off with her family or whatever. So Mary Jane is still on the phone trying to bargain and get that stuff done for her, Cynthia, and Suge and Niecy are in the living room looking at, this might be another day, the next day, but they get to talking about how she reacted to her sister saying that she was married. So she getting married. So she's holding her baby, whatever. And she was like, well, your time is going to come too. Like, she wasn't being mean and spiteful and just nasty to Niecy. So she was like, your time is going to come too, or whatever. And she was like, I know. I'm happy for her. I'm genuinely happy for her. And she was like, I'm happy for my sister. And she was like, it's okay to feel like, down on yourself when somebody else is moving forward or whatever. And Niecy had that one tear. I felt a little sorry for Niecy. Niecy had that little one tear coming down her face or whatever. And somebody happened to say that her and the girl who plays sisters on there are sisters in real life. I don't know if that's true, but I think that's what somebody on YouTube I saw them say. It might have been Ashley. Might have been Ashley Miller. I'm not sure. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. But that's what I thought I heard. Anyway, but getting back to that, Mary Jane, the next thing was Mary Jane was saying that she had took the job or whatever. She walks in Sheldon's house. She comes in and he was like, how did you get in here? She said, the door was open. He said, but how did you get past the gate? He said, oh, I remember that when you punched in, when your driver punched in the code, whatever. He looking like, you this about a bitch. And so she's just talking like that's not a big deal. The way he is with the toothbrushes, the way he is with his bed, the way that, and you didn't think that he would mind that you did that. But anyway, she's just like, and then she kicks her shoes off, lays her bags that she didn't have on the floor in her car or the floor in her office, wherever. My mom always told me, you don't have anything on your countertops, and you don't do that. You don't just come in and put stuff where we may eat food off of. Anyway, she just kicks her shoes off, then her phone rings, she carry, oh, hey, girl, good certificate, and just walks out and goes, no, it's fine, I'm home. He like, oh, I'm home. What in the ding dong? Definitely a problem for him. Definitely going to come to a head. Definitely has to be addressed. Because I felt some kind of way, and they was acting. Like, is she serious? Who would she let come in her house like that? When Niecy and them babies was in there, she could only tolerate it in they blood. She can only tolerate it for what? Niecy stayed with her maybe all of 2 weeks? Anyway, and then she started berating her, use a baby mama, use an Instagram hoe, use a this, that, and then that and that. Anyway, so okay, so Suge and Niecy's thing came after that, but whatever, y'all got my point. All right, so later on, Mary Jane had kind of confronted Sheldon about the toothbrush, so all S had broke loose then. So they got into a confrontation. He said he didn't want to get married. She said, you knew I didn't want to have a baby. He don't want to get married. He doesn't want to cohabitate or have a baby. She said, you knew I wanted that. He said, I thought that was a gimmick. She said, don't lie. One thing about you, you're not a liar. Don't lie and say that you didn't think that was a gimmick. You know I wanted to have a baby. He said, well, I figured I could get you to, if we got closer and closer, maybe we could get a condo in the same or get a compound where we don't actually stay in the same place, but when we got together, it would be strictly because we got together, not because we felt compelled to, like we felt like we had to. And I can kind of understand that, even though it sounds a little crazy, but it still was a little crazy because he knew that's what she wanted. He knew that she wanted to have a baby at least. And then one thing led to another, and when he said to her, I mean, I guess that was the best option you probably had, because with your history with men, some kind of way he said it was like a slap, and she was like, you know what, whatever, I might be in the bed and I might do this, but I ain't gonna never settle. I don't care who it is or whatever. Deuces. So she goes home, she turns on all the lights, and she kind of she goes on, she turns on all the lights, and she calls David about the dog. She kind of leaves him, trying to leave him 15 messages, but it kept running out because she was talking too much. And then she left a message just saying, I heard about the dog. I'm sorry. Let me know if you want to talk. This is MJ, whatever. And that was it. So, yeah, the next day she goes, I think Sheldon calls her. They kind of bring it to a close because he wasn't really sure. He said, I thought that I could get you to see things my way. But she was like, no, I can't see it that way because I still do want a baby. And I do want to get married or whatever. He said, it's funny how our relationship began on the phone and it's ending on the phone. And he said, is this see you later or is this goodbye? She said, this is goodbye. And they hung up or whatever. I think he'd probably come back maybe here and there. I don't know if he's going to totally be out or whatever. But that was the best decision. Somehow, some way, Lisa is going over to David's house to help him do something, get over the dog or whatever. They get to talking. David's phone accidentally pocket called Mary Jane, and so Mary Jane is hearing this, is driving home, and she hears this conversation. She thinks he's talking to her, but he's really talking to Lisa. It comes out that him and Lisa was Vodio doing when Mary Jane had kicked his ass out, and he was still trying to get up and coming. She loaned him $50,000. She was giving him blowjobs, and she said, to me, blowjobs is sex. I don't care. And he was like, don't, whatever. That was an investment. We have paperwork. She said, did you tell Mary Jane? You know why? Because you felt the guilt that I felt. So don't sit here and say that it wasn't nothing. Because if it wasn't nothing, you would have told her. And he was like, yeah, well, whatever, whatever. So Mary Jane's hearing all of this. Next thing you know, crash, boom. Mary Jane got into an accident. She's up in the tree, and she can't get down. And that was it. Fade to black. I think, was that it? Yeah, fade to black. Anyway, remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate you all with this on this ride, this Mary Jane, being Mary Jane ride with me. I appreciate you sticking it out. Like I said, I'm have some things to do with cooking. My culinary expertise will be coming up next. Oh, and I will be reviewing Love and Hip Hop ATL. When I was watching Kendrick Lamar on the Breakfast Club, and they said, what is one of your guilty pleasures? And he said, watching Love and Hip Hop ATL. He's like, I don't really know a lot of their names or whatever, but I like it. I watch it. And so do I, Kendrick Lamar. So do I. So I can't wait for that. That's Monday. And I will see you all in the next video. Peace, love, and I can't really think of nothing else. Peace and love. I'm out.